What is it? This imposter syndrome that doesn't even allow us to do certain things without doubting ourselves. What is it? This imposter syndrome that doesn't even allow us to take credit for all the work we've done and have been doing. What is it? This imposter syndrome that doesn't even allow us to call ourselves a video creator, a content creator, despite having created more than 300 inspiring videos and thousands of posts and stories in a span of 4 to 5 years. What is it? This imposter syndrome that doesn't even allow us to call ourselves sporty, despite pursuing some form of sports and exercise for almost all our life. What is it? This imposter syndrome that makes us first doubt our own self, only to then try even harder to believe in ourselves. What is it? This syndrome where we feel as if we are an imposter, just posting things as if we are pretending. And what will it take for us and from us to remove I am this poster once and for all? That's the question we find ourselves finally addressing as we continue to walk even further on our path of self-transformation. Which is where we begin to wonder that if creating and birthing even one child allows us to call ourselves a parent, then why not creating all these videos and stories allow us to genuinely call ourselves an inspiring content creator? Then why not hiking, bowling, gymming, etc. allow us to genuinely call ourselves sporty, if not athletic? And this is where we finally begin to understand why we've had trouble for as long as we can remember, labeling ourselves this and that. For labels trigger a bell in us, as if we are putting ourselves in a box, and then labeling it so as to identify it and with it. And that is why we realize that if we start posting I am this and that labels on ourselves, it will feel like an imposter syndrome, at least for us. For we no longer want to stay label stuck in life. But let's understand this for good. Label once stuck becomes a box. We can't unstuck out of it easily. With labels come lines we can't cross. And while labels are necessary when it comes to interpersonal connections, for it guides us to stay within the limits of these labeled lines, on our path of self-transformation, if we are to strive to live up to our potential, sticking ourselves to labels, images, and then identifying with it will only limit us, confine us. And perhaps that is why we've done a lot of things in our life in an incognito mode. For we don't want others to label us and put us in a labeled box either. And this is where we must understand our self-doubts. We tend to doubt based on our sense of self. Anything that doesn't fit in this labeled, no matter how well-defined sense of self, automatically generates doubts. And perhaps that is why they often tell us to go beyond ourselves. They often tell us to become selfless if we want to achieve things we haven't already. And so for now, we will walk along on this path even with this imposter syndrome. For labels once stuck create a pressure of its own kind. And so for now, we are okay with this syndrome that drones and buzzes in our mind from time to time. And so for now, let's walk through the labels without sticking them on. And focus on learning new things, doing the things we haven't done before in our life, and expand our consciousness. Here's a set of CrossFit thought stories of the day that has been one of the most challenging activity that we've ever picked up in our life. In the sense that it challenged us to see ourselves in a different light. That if need be, we too have the power to bring forth some inner strength, some more willpower, grit, and determination. This is one dragon's den we are so glad we entered, for in here we found ourselves building a mental fortitude in a way we never even imagined. This is one dragon's den we are so glad we entered, for in here we somehow processed some grey areas of our life in a positive light, so as to this time around crossfit it wisely in our grey matter. It not only brought forth some dragons from within, it taught us how to channel them wisely and constructively and give them some due expression. And so, even though we are still scared and nervous each time we enter this dragon's den, for we aren't sure which dragons will come out, we are now wiser and courageous enough that no matter the dragons, we will tame them for the better, or just slay them for good. And so no, we may not look our best in these videos, but we put them out anyways. Because let's be real, entering this dragon's den is not going to be easy. But oh, it is going to be the best thing that ever happened to us, should we have the courage to enter. And so our wish with this set of CrossFit workout videos is to inspire you to start your CrossFit journey too, and drag out those dragons that lay latent within, and put them to a greater use or better use. Walk with me as we each understand how labeling and imposter syndromes go hand in hand, and hence can be cross-fitted into some new labels and posters should we want to. Walk with me as we each tame those dragons within, and if need be, slay them.